Good evening. I'm David Swotek, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Nebraska men's basketball added a top 50 recruit to their roster today. Gavin Griffiths is a 6-foot, 8-inch guard from Smithsbury, Connecticut, originally playing at Rutgers last season. In his college rookie season last year, Griffiths ranked third among Big Ten freshmen in three-pointers. Head coach Fred Hoiberg stated, "Spacing is so important in our system, and his skill set fits what we are looking for. He handles the ball well and possesses the length and athleticism to give us flexibility and positional size in our lineup." Husker track and field will travel down to Waco, Texas this Friday and Saturday for the Michael Johnson Invitational at Clyde Hart Track and Field Stadium. Nebraska is looking good. They have 15 athletes ranking within the top 20 in the NCAA in their respective events. Based on Tuesday's polls, the Nebraska women's team ranked first in the Big Ten and top squads in 3 events, including long jump, shot put, and javelin. Finally, the NBA kickoffs start this Saturday, but not all teams are set in stone quite yet. The play-in games are happening right now for those teams right up there hoping to get in. The Miami Heat and Philadelphia 76ers just tipped off their game at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, and another game later tonight at 8:30 p.m. between the Atlanta Hawks and Chicago Bulls. The winners of these games tonight will earn their ticket to enter the playoffs and go for the NBA title. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is the first hour of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Lifted to right, and drifting over near the line is Williams, and looking up, and it is gone! Wind blows it right out of here. It's a grand slam for Will Walsh. It's 5-0 Big Red.
To the wall, reaches back, but it's gone! A 2-run home run for Ava Bradwell. A moonshot that just cleared the wall and left. And the Huskers take a 3-1 lead in the second.
The hitter now, the 1-0 pitch. Swings and lines one. Diving grab by Dylan Carey deep in the hole. Holy cow, what a play from DC.
The pitch from Chambers. Cope golfs one to center and deep. Going back Delgadillo, and it's gone! 3-run home run, Emerson Cope. Make it 5-2 Nebraska.
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome in, everybody. I'm Jessica Coody. Greg Sharpe has the night off tonight. The last time that we were on the air on Monday night, Greg closed the show with the news of his cancer diagnosis. And first of all, wow, what a powerful, powerful message from Greg, delivered like the consummate pro that he is. And honestly, that's how he's handled it since it all first started. He said on Monday he's got an incredible support system with his amazing family, but Husker Nation, wow, I know he feels your support. The outpouring of messages and love for Greg that's come in since Monday night. We see it on our text line. We're getting some right now. All over social media, you see the people that were commenting, retweeting. It was so moving. It was so incredibly moving. Cole and I were talking about that earlier. Just, man, it was really inspiring to see. But Husker Nation shows pretty much every game day, every sport, why they are the best fan base in the country. But you've shown once again, as you've rallied to get behind the voice of the Huskers in this different kind of battle, just why this is the best fan base in the country. So let me, on behalf of the Huskers Radio Network crew, say thank you. We have certainly felt it, and I know Greg has too. We're going to do whatever we can to support him, and his entire family, and our family here at HRN too. Everybody has reached out. What can we do? They want to be here to help, and so we're gonna do what we can to help him through this. And you'll hear from a couple of those family members here tonight as Jeremiah Sirles is going to stop by and talk some spring football in hour number 2. We have Maddie Burkhart coming in to talk some Huskers softball as they've got a big series coming up. So on that note, Greg will not want us to keep talking about him. So onward we go. Let's talk some Husker sports. And I see those texts rolling in, and I know Greg's seeing them. So we really do appreciate that. 402-413-2400, that number to call or text in here tonight. We got a busy show coming up. We're going to, as we said, talk lots of Husker football with Sirles, and we're going to hear from Isaac Gifford coming up, Husker softball. But let's start with more big news from Fred Hoiberg and Husker men's hoops with another addition out of the transfer portal, which David had this in the ticker. Gavin Griffiths officially joins the Huskers, the 6'8", 193-pound guard. He'll have 3 seasons of eligibility left. He was here over the weekend on an official visit, and there was a feeling around here that it was going to be good news. He was a big-time recruit out of high school, played in every game for Rutgers as a freshman last year. His stats are not going to blow you away. 5.8 points, 2.2 rebounds. He is second on the team with 31 made threes. But this is a big piece, and I think the perfect fit for Fred Hoiberg's system. This is the shooter. And, you know, I've said that I thought that was the biggest need for this team, was a knockdown shooter. With Casey graduating, CJ Wilcher leaving, that shooter that can really spread the floor, that works so well in this system. And even Coach Hoiberg alluded to that in his statement. He said he's an elite shooter with deep range, has length and athleticism to give us flexibility and positional size in our lineup. Gavin has a year of Big Ten experience under his belt, and you could see his confidence grow over the course of last season, especially in the last month when he shot 37% from three-point range. And so that makes 3 new additions so far, with at least probably 2 or 3 more to fill. But I like this ad. I really do. I think just, again, with the fit with what Coach Hoiberg likes to do. And I don't know if Rutgers and their style of play fit his style. I think it's a much better fit for him here at Nebraska too, which is probably why he picked the Huskers. But I like this piece. I like the 2 other pieces as well, because he joins Raleigh Worcester, who's the veteran point guard, which we think will probably be the backup to Aaron Eulis, who has been great in practices and on the scout team all this season. We're still waiting on official news from him, but I know they've felt confident that he will be able to go next season, will be good to go. And Andrew Morgan, the big man out of North Dakota State. I said this, but I asked Sam Griesel about him, and he said he's the kind of guy that Husker Nation's going to love to root for. He plays the right way and going to do a lot of good things for the Huskers. So they've added the shooter, they've added the point guard, and they've added a big man. And this staff has been grinding. They've had so many visits, and they're making sure they find the right fits and the needs to go along with the great core they have coming back with Juwan Gary, Bryce Williams, Sam Hoiberg. So I think they're getting it right so far, and we'll expect a couple more pieces of good news, as they are not done yet. And we were joking about it. It just seemed like one after the other was the bad news, but here we are, one after another, getting the good news. And I've said this a couple times now, but I really think Coach Hoiberg has found what fits and the kind of culture that he wants to have, and the guys that are going to fit that culture, in addition to just what they do on the basketball court and their skill set on the basketball court. It's got to be the right fit, because it's shown that it's going to be successful, that culture. And so can't wait to see how it all comes together, but more good news for the Huskers. Cole, you're on the mic?
Yeah,
okay,
I am.
So I know you like that ad. We were talking about that earlier.
I really like this ad. Two main things I wanted to mention. One, I hear all the broadcasts of Husker men's basketball last year. So I remember last year, Rutgers coming to Lincoln, and KP and Jake were on the call, and I remember Griffiths was like knocking down a few. He had, I don't know how, he might have been in double digits that night, but KP he kept praising the guy. So that was a good sign immediately. That jumped out to me.
Yeah, he's a shooter, which obviously Coach Hoiberg likes those shooters.
Yeah, another thing, he's 6'8".
Yeah.
So to obviously you can't replace Casey's shooting as Casey does it, but to have length, gives us something else on defense, which I do think was Casey's weak area. So it's a great pickup in my book.
I'm excited. Like I said, it was you could feel a little bit of the buzz over the weekend that it was going to be good news. And so I was glad to see that it is officially official. So from the good news to the not so good news, we got to address it. But another tough loss for Husker baseball in the midweek. Lost 6-4 to Creighton last night and had a lead going into the ninth, gave up the lead. So Creighton now has won 4 straight, 7 of the last 8 as they took the series this year. They will have another one coming up on April 30th in Omaha for the final game of the 3-game series between these teams. But Nebraska has now lost 5 of their last 6 after they were so hot. They were on such a roll, but twice in the last 4 games, Ben was mentioning this, twice in the last 4 games, giving up the lead in the ninth. Not the kind of performance that we were hoping for out of Nebraska last night, Cole.
No. There were bright spots, and I was telling you this off air. As much as we don't like to admit it, Creighton's a good baseball team this year. They're 27-7. Sure, their conference is whatever it is, but the closing out games is seeming to be a bit of an issue, and I don't want to, place blame on Kyle Perry because he's in general done a great job this year. I think he has 3 saves on the season, so he's been one of our best closers. But in recent times, we've had a tough time closing it out. I think it was Friday at Rutgers that was our other day.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, you felt really good about the game. I was like, this is going to be a win, and then all of a sudden it just comes off the rails in the ninth, and that's what Ben was saying the other night when we had him on, is just they've got to stop making a habit out of that. But it just they've got to find a way to get it back rolling again, which that's how baseball is, right? I mean, it can be so streaky where you're disappointed about this stretch, but you never know when you can really get hot again.
It sure can be. And listen, we got another series coming up. Maryland's coming into Lincoln this weekend. That could be a really good opportunity for us to get kind of back on course.
Yeah, and as Coach Bolt said, he, as good as his team has looked at times, they still have not hit their ceiling, which you don't want to yet either. You want to start playing your best baseball here coming up soon, but hopefully they can get it back rolling and get back in that win column, and a lot of times that can be contagious too. But certainly disappointing. I know, again, those were some texts that we saw coming in here on our text line, just disappointed about that loss last night. But it's frustrating, but hopefully they'll right the wrongs coming up this weekend with the big series back out at Haymarket Park, where I'm being told there might be some changes there, Cole, coming up this weekend.
What's that?
There might be, if everything goes right, there could be some alcoholic beverages, some beer stalls out there coming up.
Oh, my.
Yeah, so that'd be fun for the out at the ballpark. So we will pass along that info when we get it. What?
I have no comment on this. But
no comment?
No.
Well, I guess you don't get to go out to the ballpark, so.
That's right. That's right. They don't let me bring alcohol into the production studio. So.
True. Yeah, that would be frowned upon.
Right.
But, hopefully, I know that's been something that we've been asked a lot about, and so hopefully we will have that news officially coming up here soon. But I do know that is work in progress, so we will see. We will see. All right, let's get to our first break here on Sports Nightly, because we've got a jam-packed couple of hours for you coming up. But stick around. The big dog, Jeremiah Sirles, will be here. He'll be joining us here coming up next to talk some spring football. Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the daily free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the Trail-Tamin 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
Woodhouse Buick is bringing you more. With every new Buick purchase from Woodhouse, we're including 3 years of scheduled maintenance. Plus, with our current lease offers going on now, you'll save even more. Lease a 2024 Buick Encore GX for $397 a month for 39 months, 10,000 miles per year, $0 due at signing. With approved credit, must finance with GM Financial. Must currently lease a 2019 or newer GM vehicle to qualify. Offer expires April 30th, 2024. See dealer for details.
Did I forget something?
No, just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
As a fan, you wear your jersey on your back and your heart on your sleeve. There's a place for people like you. The Cox Fan Zone. Play NFL Pick'em and Collegiate Pick'em for a chance to win a $100 Visa gift card each week, or even a $500 Visa gift card grand prize.
Hey, Husker fans, this is Greg Sharpe. Say Fan Zone in your Contour voice remote to play. Not at home? Visit cox.com/fanzone. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, I got in a crash. I'm okay. I was wearing my seatbelt.
People count on you to buckle up. Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
Discover the future of luxury with a Cadillac Lyriq at Woodhouse Cadillac. Experience the thrill of instant torque and seamless acceleration, all with zero emissions. Lease a 2024 Cadillac Lyriq Sport all-wheel drive for $599 a month for 24 months, 10,000 miles per year. Shop all our Lyriq inventory in-store or online today at Woodhouse Cadillac, where innovation meets elegance. With approved credit, stock number KK240022. $4,000 down payment plus first payment and $299 due at signing. Offer expires 4/30/24. See dealer for details.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. So welcome you back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody, and we talked a little bit about this earlier in the show, but with Greg Sharpe going to be maybe missing some Sports Nightlies. We've got an army of team and a family here at the Huskers Radio Network that have been ready and willing to step in however they can to help, and certainly one of those guys are who we lovingly refer to as the big dog around here, Greg and I. So we welcome in Jeremiah Sirles, who will be one of those faces that you'll see helping us out here whenever we need it. So Sirles, thanks for being here.
Absolutely. You know, it's a pleasure. It's an honor to be with you and Greg always on this show. But, you know, anything we can do to help lift some of the fight on this side of it off of Greg's shoulders and let him focus on the really big fight, which is going and kicking this thing in the teeth. So we love you, Greg, and, you know, we're here for you anytime we can be.
All right. And I said this earlier, too. He does not want us to keep talking about it. So we're going to... We're going to move forward and close the chapter.
Plowing ahead.
Yeah. So we're going to do what he would want us to do as our fearless leader. We're going to keep talking football here today. So, you know, first of all, he and I were talking on Monday night about, it seems like this spring football is lasting a little bit longer than normal. I think it's because it's after spring break. Does it feel like it's lasting longer than normal to you?
Well, yeah, the spring game's a week later than normal as well. You know, usually the spring game is the week before the draft, and this year it's on the draft, right, which is very important to my life. And, you know, so it's definitely longer, and I think that they only have 3 practices a week, correct?
Yeah.
Right. Usually, I remember when I was in spring ball, and a lot of teams that are done with spring ball already went 4 practices a week, right? So that automatically shaves things down. But I don't hate that you go a little bit longer, right? A little more recovery time in between practices, take the injury risk down a little bit more intentional about your work, more meeting time, right? There's a lot more that can go into it when you extend spring ball a little bit longer. But I agree, it has been a long spring. As a player, wouldn't love it. Would not love it. As a fan, I'm not mad about it.
I know. It seems like we've had lots of football to talk about here in the spring. So at this point where this team is, so you've got, you're a week out from this Saturday, the spring game. Where is the team? What's kind of starting to happen now at this point in spring ball?
Yeah, you know, right now you're starting to really starting to hone in on some certain things you want to get accomplished before the end of spring ball, right? You should have almost the entire playbook installed for the spring session. Now you want to really focus on, hey, what are the fundamentals or what are the intricacies of, hey, we want to really dial this in on the last few weeks here, whether it's a scheme fit, whether it's a technique thing, whether it's a weight room thing, you know, whatever you want to dial in. These are the last few weeks for your dress rehearsal in pads and scrimmage situations, practice situations before you head into training camp, right? So this is kind of the final checklist of knocking stuff off spring that you want to get on tape so that you can make sure that you have a chance to look into it. So, you know, that's kind of what this looks like at this time of year. And you're just hoping that you can, you know, finish strong in that realm. And also the number one thing, get out of here healthy, right? That's the big thing. Get out of spring football healthy, have your full complement of men heading into the summer conditioning program to get ready for the fall.
So one of the things we didn't actually get to in our offensive breakdown on the sideline slice the other day is just when, yes, some of these veteran guys are not playing all the snaps right now, but when you have a group of guys that have played significant football and a lot of football even together. You look at Ben Scott, Bryce Benhart, Turner Corcoran, even Justin Evans coming in. And so what does that do for an offense, for an offensive line, when you start to have these guys that have played a lot of football together coming back here in the spring?
Yeah, you know, first of all, it allows you as a coach in Rayola to not focus so much on, hey, this is the scheme and this is what we need, and focus a lot on the development of the player. right? The more individualized approach. If you're not worried about knowing what your guys are doing, right? You don't have to worry about, hey, do you guys know what you're doing on this specific play? When you have veterans that come back in the spring, you are trusting that those guys know what they're doing. Now let's give them tools to do it even better, right? Let's give them another technique or another tool in the toolbox is what you'll hear a lot of line coaches say, right? I'm going to give you a tool to get this block done, because there's more than one way to skin a cat when it comes to pass protection or reach blocks or down blocks or power blocks. Like all those things, there's multiple ways you can do it. And every player has different strengths. So if we know that this is a power scheme and we got a double team here and a puller, let's focus on how we're double teaming. Let's focus on how we're getting off to the linebacker. Are we leaving with the right footwork? Is the puller skip pulling or O pulling, right? There's so many intricacies that go into each and every single play. When you have veterans, you can really focus on doing it the most efficient way for that group that's in on the field at that one given time.
We've always heard, the player-led teams are the best teams. And I really feel like, and you've been out to a couple practices too, that, you're really starting to see that. For example, I was at the scrimmage on Saturday, and those guys that we're talking about that have been around, played a lot of ball, are not in there all the time. And so you're seeing guys like Bryce Benhart coaching up those younger guys, certainly Ben Scott, and then Isaac Gifford and Marquise Buford. And it just, those older guys are really getting in there and trying to do their part. How does that start to change maybe the dynamics of a football team when you start to see those kinds of things?
Yeah, that's the culture that you hear about. That is in the definition of the football word of when you have older guys coaching up the younger guys, maybe not just on an X's and O's side, but on an effort side or on a finish side. That's how a culture is built and self-policed, right? Because you can hear a coach yell all day long, finish, or run downfield, cover, like all that stuff. But when it's coming from your peers and it's coming from guys that have played a lot of snaps and you're a young player and you're like, man, I want to get like Bryce Benhart, right? I want to be a multi-year starter in this offense or in this defense. Like there's a standard that is set, and the standard does not change based off if group 1, group 2, or group 3 is on the practice field. The standard is the standard, period. End of statement, right? There is no rolling standard, and Rule has made that very clear from the first day he walked in here. And when you have a bunch of players bought into that standard, then there is no wavering from that because there is no gray area. It is black or white. It is good or it is bad. And if you can have everyone on the good side, then you're going to, A, weed out the guys that don't want to do it the right way and be like, fine, then you aren't going to play here. You aren't going to be here. Or B, you bring all those dudes with you and you bring everyone along for the ride, because we're going to need every single body that steps onto that field in this fall to be bought into the standard and hold everyone accountable, all 11 guys on the field at one time, to that standard in order for us to flip this thing and become a winning program.
So a year ago at this time, it was one answer to this question, and then in the fall it changed, and it will probably be the same this season as we move from spring football to fall, and we see how this thing develops. But as of right now, which position group do you think is the deepest?
Ooh, that's a great question. I want to say the D-line group.
Really?
I think the D-line group, last year it was a giant question mark, right? We had a lot of questions, but you start talking about Nash, Ty, Lenhart, Judy, right? Blaze Gunner. Like there's some pieces in here that we've seen play in the fall. And for me, any type of game experience is depth, right? Is depth. Now, they may not all have been a ton of starters and played a ton of snaps, but they've played. And when you have guys that have played in meaningful games and snaps, you expect those guys to take the biggest jumps heading into the next year. So for me, it's the D-line room.
And what a completely different story that we were singing a year ago.
Last year, I was like, I think I know 2 names. I think I know 2 people that are going to play on the D-line group this year. Like, I don't know. We'll see.
And in the spring, Ty wasn't practicing, and there was these true freshmen named Cam Lenhart and Prince Oman Manyelin that we had no idea. And I've made that very clear on this show that Terrence Knighton is one of my favorites. I love listening to his huddles. It's no surprise that he's been able to develop the guys in the way that he has, but he kept receipts. I joked with him in the studio when he came in for his show about, hey, Yeah, we were kind of questioning, and he goes, "Oh, I know. I keep all the receipts."
I love it. I love that.
Oh, okay. One of the other things that Ben Scott said to me the other day was about this defense and how this time around it's not as chaotic now that he's had a year with it. At first it was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Can you talk us through that as the offensive line and this defense, why that was a challenge and why it's not as much of a challenge now?
Yeah, I mean, your first spring ball going against a Tony White defense while also installing your first time going through this offense had to be horrible. Like, there's no other way to put it. It had to just be mentally and physically exhausting, right? Because you're trying to get everyone lined up as a center. You're like, okay, here's the play, here's what you're doing, and then you look across the ball and there's like 8 people moving around. You're like, are you a linebacker? Are you a DB? Where's the nose? Right? You're just trying to like identify things. And so now that you have an idea of what to expect, the game will slow down. Okay, I know against this formation, this is how they line up. I know when we're in this personnel group, this is what I can expect. At least you know a starting point, right? That's the biggest fear of a center is when you're walking up to the line blind, right? I don't know what I'm going to get. Who knows what's going to be in front of me, right? Nightmare situation. But now going into year 2 and understand, okay, I know an idea of what I should get. And so if something's different, then my antenna's up and I'm alerted to, okay, what's new, what's coming. Right, that's a whole different thought process than just trying to get up there and get plays installed. So that's a huge jump for Ben Scott and everyone else on this O-line to be able to get up there and identify things early and then also have their antennas up for if something's different, if something stinks, to be able to get a check to something new.
I know we got to get you out of here, but one of the things that Ben, when I was chatting with him before we even started recording the interview, he is really bragging about Justin Evans and how he has been not only probably at that starting guard spot, but then the job that he's done backing him up, which he's getting a lot of opportunities to do in this spring. How excited are you about Justin Evans and seeing how he comes along even after a pretty impressive year that he had last year when he was thrown to the fire and then being able to build off of that?
Yeah, you know, he got thrown in there last year when Piper got hurt and Nuri was banged up. You know, he kind of swung in the guards position there. He's another guy similar to like a Lenhart who we watched play last year. And we're going to need him. We're going to need him to be a starting guard. We're going to need him to be able to plug and play guys. So love that he's taken the steps necessarily in the spring to open the eyes of the veterans. Anytime you have veterans singing the praise of a new guy on the offensive line, that's a good sign. That's a good sign that's like, we trust this guy. We're going to bring him alongside, and we're going to do everything in our power to get him up to speed because we're going to need him. And make no mistake, we're going to need him in the fall.
We were also joking the other night, Greg and I, about how you had mentioned on the podcast the other day, you felt like when this portal opens back up, which it's open now, what one of the needs you thought maybe they would target as another offensive lineman. We were joking. Well, of course, there's never enough offensive linemen in that room for you.
Never enough. You know, I mean, just look at last year, right? Dudes were dropping like flies. You're just like, we need more bodies, right? Throw more bodies at the fire. And I want more. I want bigger. I want faster. I want stronger. I want mean man eaters up front for the Big Red.
I think a lot of people echo that sentiment. Well, lots of the other things I wanted to dive into with you, but you'll be back soon. We got another podcast scheduled that we're going to tape here leading into the spring game. So you'll have hear much more from Jeremiah Sirles coming up here in the next few weeks. Sirles, thanks for your time. The big dog checking in.
Absolutely. Go Big Red.
All right, again, that's Jeremiah Sirles calling us in on our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. We're back with more of the show coming up right after this.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Pizza's here.
Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside-Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
Other irrigation companies are finally discovering what T&L Irrigation is known for decades. Continuous movement is the best way to irrigate. While they'll have you pay for complicated upgrades to get steady, even water application with their high-voltage electric systems, all T&L Irrigation pivots and linears are propelled safely and smoothly by powerful hydrostatic drive. Continuous movement isn't new, it's the T&L standard. Don't get talked into a reinvented wheel. Pick the proven original. Call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com. T&L, like no other.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
If problem gambling is burning up your money, there is a way out. Help is free and confidential for Nebraskans and their families. There's no judgment, just help. Visit lifeafterbet.com. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. So yesterday, April 16th, the transfer portal officially opened back up for college football. And it was crazy. It was like the top trending topic on my X feed. It's like now this time, it's every time you refresh it, there's some kind of transfer portal news. And it's what we've come to expect. It is what it is. But for as crazy as it was around everywhere else, is calm around here. We did not see a bunch of additions to the portal. And we probably still will moving forward, but it wasn't a mass exodus like we had seen from a few places across the country. There was one name tied to Nebraska that was in the portal, defensive back Corey Collier. He transferred from Florida last year. There was a ton of hype when he made the decision to come here, but he's never really got going, never was a big piece here after he's one of the top prospects in the country in the 2021 signing class out of high school. But he played in just 5 games last season, didn't have a tackle, and like I said, just didn't ever end up being one of those big-time contributors. But Greg and I have talked about that so much here, really since Rule was hired, how it's just the transfer portal has not been crazy for Coach Rule and his staff. These guys believe in what he's doing. They want to stick around. And so, as crazy as it is everywhere else, it really hasn't been crazy here with Coach Rule's staff. So when Coach Rule met with the media yesterday, he was asked about the transfer portal. I found this answer really fascinating.
I think if anybody on our team wants to go in the portal, it's open today. That's their right. Obviously no one has yet. I don't anticipate anybody going in. When we get done with spring, we'll have a couple days to see if something's best for them. Our guys are really transparent. We've had players on our team already have people from other teams contact them, come in, walk in, say, Coach, look at this, show us a text message, show us this. It's a sad state of college football but the problem's not the players. Let me start there. The problem's not the players. So I love our guys. I want everyone to be here, but I also want them, we had guys transferred to other places last year. I've talked to their coaches. I've talked to them, how they doing. And once you played for me for life. So, maybe it's a unique challenge in terms of some guys, but we're pretty transparent with our guys. Like, if they want to come talk to us, we're here to talk to them. I ask the coaches after scrimmages to meet with guys one-on-one. I'm always available. So I just don't think it's really prudent, and maybe this is Pollyannish, but I don't think it's prudent for me to coach guys thinking about the portal, because the worst thing you can ever do for a young person is not have high standards for them and not push them to greatness. So if you're afraid of pushing them because they might go to the portal, then probably don't have the right guy anyway. I'm sure things will happen, good, bad, but we're just going to coach the guys, try to get the team better, and pour everything we have into our players, both on the field, off the field, and personally. And if something happens, it happens.
It's not just the players that don't transfer to go play at another school. It's also the players that want to stick around that could have chased dreams to the NFL, guys like Ty Robinson that want to stick around and be a part of this and felt like they had unfinished business here in Husker uniform. And another one of those guys is Isaac Gifford, and I got a chance to chat with him after practice last week on his birthday. Well, happy birthday, Isaac Gifford. I know this happens every year, but you got to love being able to have your birthday and be out on the football field with your brothers.
Yeah, no, it's pretty fun. This is my first, I think my first birthday on a practice day, so it's pretty fun.
Just going into this season overall, how do you feel like spring's gone so far for this group?
It's been good. We're levels ahead of where we were last year. Obviously, new coaching staff, but it's fun to see how much guys have just taken from the defense and are running with it. So it's been fun.
I want to go back to last December when you made the decision that you wanted to return. What went into that decision? Why did you want to come back and be here another year?
Gosh, it didn't feel right leaving. I just felt like there's unfinished stuff that I haven't gotten to. And so I wanted to come back, and thankfully I was able to and get another year to play football.
We hadn't had a chance to talk to you, but that video was epic with Bryce Benhart. How did that come about?
No, that was all the video team. They're freaking awesome at their job. They always come up with all these great ideas. So that was all them. That was not me.
How was it, just the reception from Husker Nation when you made that announcement?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Get all those responses.
So going into spring football and being, such a big leader you were last year, but have you changed your approach at all? How have you approached going into this spring?
Yeah, this is my fourth spring, so I've kind of came at it with the approach of, man, I'm going to be deliberate in everything that I do. I know what I need to fix. I know I need to fix my man progression and all that stuff. So I go into every practice and I have one thing that I want to fix.
How special is it, too? You guys got a lot of guys coming back that played a lot of ball together, but being able to go through this again with some of those guys like Ty and Nash, and the list goes on and on.
Yeah, it's so nice to have those guys. Just having Ty and Nash, veteran guys that played a lot of football, it's nice because it's not on me or on MJ Sherman. You have veteran guys that people can go to.
With the two guys that left with Luke and Nick and how instrumental they were to this defense, how has that communication changed? How have you seen guys maybe step up and fill some of that role?
There's a lot of guys that are stepping up. John Bullock has been one of those guys. He stepped up in the linebacker room and really showed up.
So the communication thing, have you guys worked with that at all yet? Because Coach White said you might be one of those guys.
Yeah, no, I got one in there. It's going to be different. We're going to have to get used to it. We haven't used it a ton yet, but we're just kind of getting into it.
Just for this defense and what you guys were able to establish last year, how has that changed the hunger, the motivation just to step it up a notch going into the spring?
Yeah, I think last year learning the defense, there might have been some doubt, right? Like, it's a new defense. Guys are learning it. You don't know if it's going to work. And we've seen it. It works. So I think guys are pumped up to see what we could do this year.
You've been a big fan of Coach Coop, Evan Cooper, and the work that he's done with you personally. How has that changed and evolved going into year 2 with him?
Yeah, I think we have a mutual respect for each other, and we trust each other a lot. And he really pushes me to be a better player. He makes me uncomfortable, which is great. That's what I'm looking for. So I love Coop. He's awesome.
How about some of the young defensive backs? Seems like that's a pretty loaded room with talent, and you guys got some some competitiveness going on back there.
Yeah, no doubt. There's a lot of competition. A lot of guys pushing for spots. Mario Buford, he's been great. He's playing safety and corner and all these positions, and he's balling out.
How is it having two Bufords in the room?
It's funny. Marquise is like, man, he might be my brother. He's pretty good.
Oh, that's awesome. How about the wide receivers and matching up with those guys?
Yeah, they got some speed. They look really good. They're making us better. They're getting us ready for the fall. They got a great receiving core. They're young, but they're good.
What needs to happen for this team the remainder of spring to set yourselves up for what needs to come after that?
I think we just need to remember that we're preparing for the fall right now. So it starts now and it goes all the way to August.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah.
Thanks to Isaac Gifford for chatting with me on his birthday last week. And happy birthday to one of the OGs in the chat, Andy Harris. He's turning the big 40. Happy birthday, Andy. All right, we're back to wrap up hour number 1. Coming up next, Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Don't miss out on limited-time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today, because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowes.com for details.
Tickets are on sale now for the Hy-Vee IndyCar Race Weekend Concert Series. Saturday, July 13th, see Luke Combs and Eric Church. And Sunday, July 14th, see Post Malone and Kelsey Ballerini live in concert. 1 ticket per day gets you into a race and 2 concerts. Tickets on sale now at HyVeeIndyCarWeekend.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Final segment here of hour number 1 of Sports Nightly. Had a couple of texts I wanted to get to on the text line that have come in over the last hour. So this is from Mike. He said, from myself and everyone that is usually in the chat, we're all praying for you. This is to Greg. And we know that you're going to win a national championship in beating cancer. I agree. That was well said there. And then John from Kansas said, well wishes to Greg. Prayers for you. I love listening to your football broadcasts and how you call a baseball game. Lyle and Greg Sharpe, best ever. Love you, Greg. And then another one coming in from Dick Carlson. He said, hey, Greg, I hope this note makes it to you. Just heard your announcement and wanted to let you know I'm thinking of you and know you'll beat it. You don't know me, but I feel like I know you after listening to you for so many years and the brief interactions at the old recruiting dinners in Lincoln and Omaha. Looking forward to hearing many more years of your play calls. There are so many texts like that came in, and of course on social media, as I mentioned earlier. So we appreciate that, hearing from you guys. But I wanted to read those because I have a task for our listeners, because obviously some guys that have been listening to Greg for a long time. Cole and I were talking earlier. We're going to start putting together maybe some classic games and cut those down that we can air sometimes during the summer. And so if you have some of your favorite games that Greg has called since he's been on the call with the Huskers, text us in 402-413-2400 so that we can get to work on those and get those ready to go. Greg won't do it. So I'm going to take the time here while he's not here to say, send us your suggestions. What games do you want to hear that Greg has called? Just because we haven't had an opportunity to play some classic football broadcasts. And so Cole said that he's going to take on the task. So he needs some help here. Right, Cole?
A lot of these games since Greg got here, I've been at, but I haven't been listening to on the radio.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Let us know your suggestions.
Do you have a favorite game then that you could pick?
Oh, well, we were away game. This was probably 2013 away game at Texas A&M. We ended up winning it. Maurice Purify caught the game-winning touchdown in either OT or the fourth quarter. That was my favorite.
Well, there you go. There's one you can do. And Sam in Omaha already sent you one, Northwestern Hail Mary 2013. So we're going to get you some options here. Maybe too many you can even do. But all right, appreciate those rolling in. And there's another one for the Northwestern game. So there you go. That's priority number 1. We got much more to come here in hour number 2. Maddie Burkhart and Lindsey Thiele of Husker Women's Golf. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Hour number 2 up next.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus 1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside-Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Visit Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram during Ram Truck Month and save on the entire lineup of trucks. Shop the rugged and confident 2024 Ram 1500 and enjoy best-in-class towing and an array of tech features designed for whatever journey comes your way. Right now, get up to $10,000 off MSRP on all in-stock 2024 Ram 1500 Crew Cab Laramies. Your trusted Ram dealer since 1991. This is Woodhouse. With approved credit, tax time license extra. When financed through Chrysler Capital, $299 doc fee to sign. Offer expires 4/30/2024. See dealer for details.
Good evening. I'm David Swotek, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Nebraska men's basketball added a top 50 recruit to their roster today. Gavin Griffiths is a 6-foot, 8-inch guard from Smithsbury, Connecticut, originally playing at Rutgers last season. In his college rookie season last year, Griffiths ranked 3rd among Big Ten freshmen in three-pointers. Head coach Fred Hoiberg stated, "Spacing is so important in our system, and his skill set fits what we are looking for. He handles the ball well and possesses the length and athleticism to give us flexibility and positional size in our lineup." Husker track and field will travel down to Waco, Texas this Friday and Saturday for the Michael Johnson Invitational at Clyde Hart Track and Field Stadium. Nebraska is looking good. They have 15 athletes ranking within the top 20 in the NCAA in their respective events. Based on Tuesday's polls, the Nebraska women's team ranked 1st in the Big Ten and top squads in 3 events, including long jump, shot put, and javelin. Finally, the NBA playoffs kick off this Saturday, but not all teams are set in stone quite yet. The play-in games are happening right now for those teams right up there hoping to get in. The Miami Heat and Philadelphia 76ers tipped off their game at 6 p.m. today at Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. The Miami Heat have the slight lead of 33-26 with 6 minutes and 46 seconds left until the first half. Another game later tonight at 8:30 p.m. between the Atlanta Hawks and Chicago Bulls as well. The winners of these games tonight will earn their ticket to enter the playoffs and go for the NBA title. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Lifted to right, and drifting over near the line is Williams, and looking up, and it is gone! Wind blows it right out of here. It's a grand slam for Will Walsh. It's 5-0 Big Red. To the wall, reaches back, but it's gone! A 2-run home run for Ava Bradwell. A moonshot that just cleared the wall and left. And the Huskers take a 3-1 lead in the second.
The hitter now, the 1-0 pitch. Swings and lines one. Diving grab by Dylan Carey deep in the hole. Holy cow, what a play from DC.
The pitch from Chambers. Cope golfs one to center and deep. Going back Delgadillo, and it's gone! 3-run home run, Emerson Cope. Make it 5-2 Nebraska.
Here is your host, Jessica Coody, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome back, hour number 2 of Sports Nightly on this Wednesday night edition. I'm Jessica Coody, and we are inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. All right, Cole, we got a couple more suggestions that have rolled in for you, and Northwestern is clearly number 1. The Northwestern game. Art in Los Angeles said the Hail Mary Northwestern game Greg called is a classic, and I believe that was another suggestion in the chat too. So that should be probably number 1 for you to start working on, or 4 you can hand off to the interns to start
Probably.
working on.
I also saw the Colorado game in 2007, that Alex Henry 57-yard field goal. That's
Yes, Greg called that game because I remember that he when I talked to Alex Henry about that. So yes, there you go.
That's one for sure.
All right, so hey, we already got off to a good start
Yeah,
here. So
thank
we
you,
appreciate
everybody.
the suggestions. If you can think of any more, send them in. We will be taking those and writing those down and passing them along to Camden and David. All right, so one of the other big news stories that we just have not been able to get to, but big news since we've been on the air. Jazz Shelley selected in the WNBA draft after we went off the air on Monday night. The first Husker since 2014 to be selected in the WNBA draft. She's a 29th overall pick in the third round, the 29th pick overall, because there's not as many teams in the WNBA, but she's headed to the Phoenix Mercury. And I think she still is also going to have potentially a chance to play for Team Australia in the Olympics. I know that is a goal for her, and she wants to continue to work on maybe not this Olympics if she doesn't qualify for this Olympics, but she will certainly have a really, really good shot to play for Team Australia in the next time around. But I loved so Lauren Michelson of KETV interviewed Jazz yesterday, and she posted a clip of Jazz talking about the exposure and the rise in women's sports that probably is really what allowed Jazz to be able to get drafted. And if you think about what happened even over the last year and some of the biggest games that they played in, and against Iowa, who was the #1 overall pick, and Caitlin Clark, Jazz had some heck of ball games, and those were record-breaking TV audiences that she got to play in front of, and she performed well in those games. So certainly that exposure, I think it does help some of those players. And so congratulations to Jazz Shelley. So happy for her and this program. I know it's always big. You talk about recruiting; it's big in recruiting as well. So. Congratulations to Jazz Shelley and Nebraska women's basketball. All right, this is gonna be the Husker Women's Sports Hour, because there we talk about Jazz Shelley. We're gonna have Maddie Burkhart coming up here in just a few minutes to talk Husker softball. But I had another Husker Women's Wednesday podcast that we dropped today, and we're checking off all the sports here. And so another new sport here we're going to talk about here today: Husker women's golf with senior Lindsey Thiele. So senior season, you guys are about to head in towards the postseason. How's the team so far this season?
Yeah, we've had a pretty good season. We came out and had a bunch of tournaments right away in February. So a lot of the times they're kind of just spaced out between February and May when we have our postseason. But this year it was a little more top heavy on the front end. So yeah, we came out right away, had three tournaments that first month, and we were in Florida again, and so we were kind of just traveling all over South Carolina. Yeah, we had a pretty good start. We've had some good weather for all of our tournaments, really. So it's been a good start, and the team's looking good. So,
as a golfer, especially, playing golf, not ideal weather a lot of times at the beginning of the season. How crazy is that, the beginning of the season, when you guys are just traveling all over?
Yeah, it's a lot of adjusting, because normally we're coming from being inside here, coming off of Christmas break, and there's normally snow on the ground or just cold weather, cold winds. So a lot of the times we'll start out with a bunch of indoor practice, and then when we fly south, then we have to quickly adjust to then being on grass, whatever type of grass we then see. A lot of times down south, it's a different kind of grass than we have here anyway. So it's a lot of quick adjusting those first few days of kind of getting used to everything, and then we'll fly back home and then be inside again. So it's a little different than a lot of teams that we see, because they'll be practicing outside and then also competing outside. But for us, especially in the early spring season, it's bouncing between indoor and outdoor, and just we kind of go with whatever we get when we're back home. So if we're outside, we're lucky. If we're inside, we kind of just make it work.
It's got to be cool, just the opportunities that you guys get to have in your sport in particular, because you travel so many cool places and get to play in so many cool golf courses.
Yeah, for sure. We always say that, like, we're different than a lot of other sports where we actually get to see a lot, like from wherever we go, we just get to be outside, and we actually get to see like the nature of that area. So that's pretty cool. We don't have to be inside in a gym and quickly just go from place to place, but we don't get to like go sightsee a lot. But when we're on the course, we get to see kind of the nature of the area, which is cool. So we're really lucky.
What's been your favorite golf course that you've played outside of Nebraska?
Big Tens the last 2 years were at Fox Chapel Country Club in Pennsylvania. So Penn State was hosting, and that was a beautiful course. It was a really old golf course. There was like a lot of tradition there, just rolling hills and some really funky greens and funky holes. So that was a really fun course to play.
So you are, you have a name that Husker fans probably recognize. You have a couple sisters that played golf from Wahoo, Nebraska, but I kind of wanted to get into your backstory, because there wasn't a girls' golf team for you at your high school. So you actually had to play on the boys' team. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that was interesting for sure. And I was really thankful that my two older sisters kind of did that before me. So I was a little bit less nervous going into it. But it was a really cool experience. We were lucky that our small little high school allowed that, and it got me out of running track. So I was happy with it. But we had a pretty small guys team. I think one of the years when I played, there was 6 or 7 guys, and that was all. And then me and my younger sister were on the team at that time. So pretty small. We just got to be really good friends with all the guys that we played with. And it was crazy how good it was for our golf game. We played the same distances as the boys. So I was playing a lot longer distances actually in high school golf than I even am now in college.
Wow.
The courses are a lot tougher now in college, but yeah, so we had to just quickly get used to playing really long distances and maybe not being able to hit all the greens that we were hitting into just because it was so long. And so then that really helped our short game around the greens just because I wasn't going to be hitting all the greens because it was so far. And so then I had to get really good at my wedges and my short game to then still be able to compete. So it did a lot of really good things for my game coming into college then, which was awesome.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Golf wasn't your only sport.
No. I played basketball and volleyball also. Basketball was really my top sport for a while. I love it. Love that game. And then, yeah, just kind of transitioned into golf and saw a future in golf for myself in college and then just kind of went that route. But
so what is it about golf for the Thiele family that you guys got into it and got pretty good at it?
Yeah, people ask us that a lot, and honestly, I don't know what it is about it. I think I come from a pretty competitive family. We all play sports. My parents are the same way, not necessarily with golf, but just with other sports. And so I think there was something too, when we were younger, we always just had somebody to practice with golf. And I think especially for young girls, that's one of the harder things with golf, and even just young boys too. But it's just kind of lonely out there for little kids, and you're just kind of out there by yourself, and you're out there for a long time when you're practicing. So I think that was kind of what was different for our family, is that we had friends and sisters to go out and practice with, and that was something that maybe a lot of other kids didn't have. So I think that's just kind of what kept us coming back and kept wanting to play with each other and beat each other, and yeah, it worked out really well for us. So
that's fun. I've had this conversation with a number of athletes that have talked about they didn't just specialize in one sport. How important was that for you to play multiple sports growing up?
Yeah, that's definitely a tricky subject, because a lot of times, if you want to get really good at a sport, or if you're wanting to pursue a sport in college, you need to kind of specialize early. But I also think there's a side of it, as a multi-sport athlete, you're using all your different muscles. You're just becoming a better, well-rounded athlete, which will help in any sport. And I think it also just prevents burnout from a young age too. I feel like the time that I was loving golf the most and getting the most into golf and getting better the most was as I was coming into college, and then even in college. And I think that can look a lot different if someone specializes super early and then maybe I think burnout happens a lot of the times in those cases. So I was really lucky to have other sports to just keep me wanting to come back, and I would get really excited then when golf season came, because I was playing different sports before that. So I loved it. I wouldn't change anything about the way that I did it, and I was really lucky that my family was able to do that. So
yeah, great perspective. So when it comes time you're getting recruited, and you had sisters that came through here, what was your recruiting process like? And was it always going to be Nebraska, or was it ever a thought process like maybe I want to go do my own thing? Yeah,
it was. Definitely my first choice was always Nebraska. When I was growing up, that was always just my dream. I wanted to come here, wanted to be a Husker. And then when my sisters started committing here and starting to play here, I got to see a lot more kind of behind the ropes of that too, and I would get to hear their stories about it and go to some of their tournaments and see how it all worked. So Nebraska was definitely always my top priority, or just where I wanted to be. I did kind of dabble and look at some other colleges too, go on some other visits and everything, but nowhere ever compared to Nebraska, so it didn't take very long, and then I was ready to commit.
Always hear that it feels a little different when you're from the state and you're repping the Huskers. What has it been like for you to wear that in? It's been absolutely amazing, just from, hometown support even back in Wahoo, and just being here. And it is, when Husker fans know you're from Nebraska, it's just you feel like they're just rallying around you, and everybody's so excited for you, just wants the best for you, and our fans are amazing. It's incredible. It's not a state that you can play golf year-round and always get out on the course some other states. What would be your message to maybe a young girl that maybe thinks, I can't play golf because I can't play year-round? Yeah, it's definitely possible, and I think it is tough when we can't get outside year-round, and sometimes those winter months, they feel long and they feel cold and they just feel tough because you can't get out and play outside all the time. But I think another perspective to look at that is then you just have another opportunity to then go do some different things and then come back to golf just really refreshed and ready to go. And there's so many things you can still do inside. You can work on your swing without needing to see ball flight, and sometimes that's the best for fundamentals, is just without seeing ball flight, being able to work on everything and get everything feeling good before you then can go outside. So there are pluses to it. You can always putt inside too. It's not super hard to do that. So
yeah, it's just kind of how you look at it and just kind of taking what we get. And then when we do get a good day outside and the course is open, then it just seems that much better because it's a gift to be able to go do that. So,
where has your game grown the most in college?
I would say my short game, 100%. I think growing up, I always had quite a bit of strength and I could drive the ball really far. I could just hit it really far. And so that was definitely an advantage in junior golf and coming into college. But then once you're in college and you see how precise everybody is and just how fine-tuned everybody's short games are, it was really quick for me to see, okay, this is where my game needs work if I'm going to be able to compete at this level. So I think that's where I've seen it the most, just becoming more refined, more precise in those short little shots and just saving a lot of strokes there.
So if there's somebody listening in, any age, could be young, could be old, that's maybe thinking about taking up golf.
Yeah.
And you're just starting and it can be frustrating, right? What's your advice for those beginners trying to get into this and dabble into golf?
I think just understanding, honestly, just respecting the game and understanding how hard it is. We talk about this all the time on the team. Like, if anybody ever says they've, like, got this sport, it's just not true. Like, the minute you think that is when you go out and shoot a bad score. Like, it's such a tough game, and it demands so much respect, and it changes every time. Every time you go out on the course, every shot you hit is a shot you've never seen before, and it's completely different. And that's one of the most awesome things about this sport is it's just different every time, and it's so challenging in so many ways. So I think just understanding that and then just being able to love the game for that part of it and just understanding what a unique and awesome game it is that we get to play.
I love that conversation. Again, that was Lindsey Thiele with Nebraska Women's Golf. You can listen to that full conversation out now on our podcast platforms and our YouTube channel as a part of Husker Women's Wednesday, powered by Emeritus. They are headed to the postseason. They got the Big Ten championships coming up, but that was awesome. I always love talking golf, but every Wednesday I sit down, I'm like, gosh, I'm so appreciative of these women and how great people they are, great athletes they are, and it's been really fun project to take on. Okay. We got to step aside for a break here on Sports Nightly. Much more to come. We're going to talk some Nebraska softball with Maddie Burkhart coming up. And Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
This statement has not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When it comes to my lifestyle and diet, I don't always make the smartest choices.
Touchdown! Woo! Hey, how about another round and some more chips?
But when it comes to taking care of my liver, I do make one very smart choice. Active liver tablets from New Nordic. I used to have real issues with my liver, and at my last checkup, my doc was concerned about my numbers. But since adding a once-a-day active liver tablet, my gut's better, I feel great, and my doctor's happy. I ask a lot of my liver, so the least I can do to say thanks is a daily dose of Active Liver.
Active Liver is one of many award-winning health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at Amazon.com or for a volume discount, visit NewNordicUSA.com. Available as a tablet or delicious sugar-free gummy. Protect and help your liver the easy and effective way with Active Liver at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
The
The Jeep Celebration event is going on right now at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Sioux City. Shop and save on top models like the 2024 Jeep Compass Limited and lease for just $379 per month with $0 down. Visit us in store or online at WoodhouseChryslerDodgeJeepRam.com. Serving Siouxland since 2013. This is Woodhouse. 42 months, 10,000 miles per year with approved credit. Tax title license extra. First payment and $179 doc fee to signing. Stock number DS240308. Offer expires 4/30/24. See dealer for details.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
A few drinks at home after work, a couple of hits at a party with some friends, over-the-counter drugs for a minor illness, a new daily prescription, and you're not quite sure how it makes you feel. It doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If it impairs you, driving becomes deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers. Growing opportunity from the ground up.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. As we welcome you back to Sports Nightly, I'm Jessica Coody, and Nebraska softball still very much in a Big Ten title hunt and have a big series coming up this weekend at Michigan. And to get us set for all of that and to talk all things Husker softball, we welcome in our very own Maddie Fowler-Burkhart. Thanks for being here.
Yes, thanks for having me. I'm always down to talk softball, as you know.
Yes, and we love having you in the studio, too. We hear you on the airwaves with Nate, but we love having you here on Sports Nightly. Well, big weekend coming up this weekend, which I want to dive into all of that, but also won the series over the weekend, and kind of what this team has kind of become known for is come from behind fashion on Sunday, but for this team to rally and find a way to win at Rutgers, big weekend for them.
Yeah, a road series win is big no matter who you're playing, and I think resilient is the number one word I would use to describe this team this year. They've been just injury-ridden. I mean, it's like if you just look in the dugout, you can see how many girls are not dressed out. They've had season-ending injuries. They've had big contributors have different things pop up here and there, and they have just been really resilient and just new people stepping up and just overcoming that. And then, like you said, a lot of come from behind wins. They had a 5-run 6th inning in Game 3 to come back and tie it, and then ultimately win in extras at Rutgers. So a really big road win and a road series win for them.
We've talked a lot about, the people that have delivered at the plate, but for Sarah Harness to do what she did in Game 3, to come in and give the bats a chance, how big was that for this team to see her perform that way?
I think she only gave up 2 hits and 5 innings of work to come in, and she really came in, and that's a huge moment for a senior. So I was really happy to see that for her, and she just had to keep them in the game so they had time to chip away. And I mean, this team averages over 6 runs a game, so the offense is going to deliver, and you play 7 innings for a reason. So they waited till the end to strike, but they came back ultimately. But yeah, Sarah, that was a big outing for her. And then Kaylin Kinney's just been carrying a really heavy load for this team and appearing in almost every single game down the stretch here. And that's tough in these 3-game series because you've got to be really gritty because you're facing the same hitters 3 days in a row. And it's not like baseball where you're getting a different arm each day. They're using Harness and Kinney, in all of these games. And so you've got to be really tough knowing that you're going to get hit a little because it's day 3 and they've seen you.
So, this team has done it countless times. I don't know. I know Matt Smith probably has the stats specifically, but there's several games that they've come from behind to win. When you've done it and then you've done it again, what does that do for the mindset, the mentality of no matter what's on the scoreboard, we can win any game?
Yeah, I know they've had at least 4 games where they've come back 6th inning or later, but there's been even more games where they would surrender a big lead inning 1 and then they chip away and they come back. And it becomes the story you tell yourself, right? That, hey, we've been in this spot before. Maybe this is the type of team we are. We just like the late game theatrics and we're going to deliver when it matters. But yeah, you can either see the times you haven't come back or you can focus on the times you've had and choose to tell yourself that story and make it your identity. And I think that's what this team has done.
So there's the names that we know and we talk about and have talked about for a long time, the Sydney Grays and the Billy Andrews, the Brooke Andrews. But is there anybody in particular that's maybe surprised you this season at the plate?
Yeah, Sammy Bland, the freshman. She's so fun to watch. They call it the Sammy Stomp, but she comes around and hits a home run. She's coming in stomping. She's dancing on third. I mean, she is just so fun to watch, and she's been electric. Ton of power and ton of speed. So she's kind of a little bit of a Billy Andrews type player there, where she can steal bases. She's going to have a high slugging percentage, tons of doubles, home run power, and she's also had multiple game-winning hits this year, which is really fun to see that kind of composure and kind of that fearless approach in a freshman. So I have my eye on Sammy Bland. I think she's in the running for Big Ten Freshman of the Year. It's been so fun to watch.
That's awesome. Add another one, right? We had volleyball, we had women's basketball. Maybe we can
why not
sweep it. I thought it was just awesome earlier this year when we sat down with Billy, and she's really put her arm around Sammy and has really tried to mentor her. And when I was asking her about the home run record, she's like, I need to extend it a little bit and before somebody else breaks it. And she's like, I'd be all right if Sammy broke it.
I love that.
It's just a neat, that's kind of the culture of that program that you see.
And I also think that speaks to Billy's growth as a captain this year and her leadership, where not that she hasn't always been a leader, but I think she's typically been somebody who let her performance speak for itself and just kind of a lead by example, lead by my fiery play. And I think she's really owned that role this year and been more confident with her voice and her mentorship. And that's really cool to see. And I love there's 4 captains on this team, but they wear the C's on the uniform now, and they wear them with pride. And I'm kind of jealous. I was like, I want that patch. Can I go back? Can I get that C patch sewn onto my uniform?
Hey, Billy's had a chance to maybe be an All-American, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She's on track.
She is on track. I mean, she's hitting close to 400. I think she's second in the Big Ten in extra base hits. I mean, so home run power. She's then got the RBIs. She's got the batting average. She's got doubles. I mean, so just really, really effective and one of the best shortstops in the country. I mean, her range is insane at short, and it's funny because whenever we're up in the booth and there's a tough play, it's hard to tell if it's an error or a hit because she covers so much ground that she gets to balls that are base hits, and maybe it barely glances off her glove, and you're like, that's a hit normally all day, but you're like, Well, but no, it's just Billy getting there when nobody else would even come close to covering that ball. So, yep, was an All-American last season, and I definitely think she's on pace to be an All-American again.
She has elite athleticism, right? The Michigan series coming up. So as of today, how we head into the weekend, you've got Northwestern at the top. They just swept Michigan recently. Right. Michigan's 2, Nebraska's 3, but Michigan, Nebraska both with 3 losses. There's some history there between Michigan and Nebraska. What's this rivalry like on the softball diamond?
Yeah, well, first of all, I played here 5 years. I never got to play at Michigan. So I am still bitter about that because I never had a chance to play there, and they always get a great turnout. They bring the alumni band and have them play in between innings. So it's always a great atmosphere. So I'm still a little bitter about that. I got to talk to somebody at the Big Ten who didn't schedule
Bitter about the C's, bitter about Michigan.
But yeah, Coach Hutch, who's now retired, is the legendary Hall of Fame coach, you know, finished atop the record books for a number of career wins in college softball. And she and Coach Ravel are just lifelong good friends. And so there was always a very fun kind of rivalry going into that. And now, of course, the longtime assistant has taken over for Michigan. But even though, you know, this Michigan team might not be the traditional type of Michigan team where you see them always in the top 15 rankings, they've been a little bit down. You know, it's still the name, right? It's still the tradition, it's the legacy. And like you said, they're second in the Big Ten rankings. They've swept every series they've won, and then they got reverse swept by Northwestern. So it's kind of been a little lopsided there, but they've got some tandem, two good pitchers, and they've got a lot of power at the plate. So it's always a big one, Nebraska versus Michigan. And we had some fun battles with them when I played. I remember we beat them in 2016 when they were the #1 seed, and we beat them at home, and that was a blast to take down, you know, a #1 seed at the time, and just always had some good battles with Michigan.
Would you say Michigan's the #1 rival for Nebraska on the softball diamond, or who would that be?
That's a great question. Probably just because of the historic knowledge there and tradition, and going head to head in the tournament, and just battles always. And I mean, we loved playing them, and it was always like you had to play your best ball and you had to rise to the occasion. And they always had the big names too, right? They had, when I was playing, it was Sierra Romero, and you know, she had led the nation in home runs that year.
It's player of the year, right?
Yeah, it was player of the year. So it was just, I mean, it was like a little chip on your shoulder when you're playing Michigan.
So what does this matchup look like on paper going into it? What does Nebraska need to do to maybe go take a big series? When you talk about looking at the RPI, again, the Big Ten standings, a lot riding on this series. What does Nebraska need to do?
Yeah, a lot riding on this series. I mean, just how it plays out will really impact what kind of the final standings are for the year, for the Big Ten Conference and seeding for the Big Ten Tournament. And you've got a lot of teams who are fighting to make a name for themselves so that they get a bid into the tournament. So there's a lot kind of riding on this. And like I said, Durkowski is the pitcher for Michigan, and she's a junior. She's seasoned. She's good. She's got a wicked changeup that I know Nebraska struggled when they saw her last year. So if I know Coach Miller well enough, which I think I do. I know they'll be watching a lot of tape on that, on the at-bats they had against Michigan last year. And then they've got a freshman pitcher who has thrown a lot of innings for them as well. So you're going to see those two pitchers do the majority of the work. So it'll be kind of similar to Nebraska, where Nebraska is going to use Kaylin Kinney and Sarah Harness. So it's kind of going to come down to which offense adjusts quicker in this game and who has timely hits.
So, you know, looking at this stretch, you go to Michigan, then you got a doubleheader against Iowa, which, you know, it's Iowa on Tuesday, and then you have Northwestern at home, who Northwestern is leading the Big Ten. Right. How tough is this stretch? What are you looking for? What would be ideal for this team outcome, I guess, over this next stretch of games?
And then you finish with Minnesota, too, right, who's, I think, 5th in the Big Ten rankings right now. So I think it's a good thing. You don't want to finish with the teams at the bottom, right? You want to finish, you want to give yourself a chance. And so Nebraska's in a position right now, you know, where their RPI is kind of right on the bubble of an at-large bid for postseason. So you have a schedule ahead of you right now where it's kind of create your destiny, right? If they can get on a roll and win, say, those next 3 series, it makes a really strong resume for them to get an at-large bid. And if not, then you want to be playing your best ball as you head into the tournament if you need to run the table and win the tournament to get your bid.
So While you're here, I want to go ahead and ask you about Northwestern because they graduated a lot, but here they are, they're reloading, and they're once again, the leaders in the Big Ten. What is it about them? What do they have going for them that's working for them this year?
They went and got a transfer pitcher who's a graduate student, Ashley Miller from Michigan State. So an interconference transfer, and she's the real deal. And so she's probably going to be Big Ten pitcher of the year. I think. I mean, she's just been really good. Her opponent batting average is like 160 and a ton of strikeouts. And so that was a huge pickup for them because they had to replace, a really big arm. And they did that through the transfer portal, and that's where it can work to your advantage. I mean, we all kind of can say what we want about the transfer portal, but where it is really helpful is if you're looking for one specific thing and you got to replace one person, you can find a proven talent at the college level and try and take them to your program. So they've been impressive this year because I think the softball community, we all kind of thought it would be a little bit of a rebuilding year for Northwestern, and they found the pieces they needed, and they've had others step up.
It's amazing with softball, with other sports, the one player might not be as big of a deal, but with softball, especially if you can go get a dominant pitcher, it can really change the trajectory of a team.
I mean, look at Penn State, right? I mean, they have not been a team that we've talked about at all, and they are really tough program. I mean, they're I think top 30 RPI. They're in and out of some top 25 rankings right now, and it's because they got that arm. They've got a freshman pitcher who is phenomenal, and she doesn't lose many games. I mean, I think she's lost maybe one game this year when she's pitching, and she can't go every game, but when she does, she's really tough. And Nebraska struggled against her because she was the real deal. I mean, she was mixing all speeds, and then had only had 9 at-bats of the year, and she comes in and she hit a game-tying home run against Nebraska. And that's one of those things you just got to tip your hat. You're like, here's a kid who just came in and battled and hasn't had the at-bats, but she gave up a 2-run home run, and then she got one of her own back. And so, one pitcher can change that for you.
Okay, so, again, at Michigan this weekend, and this team will take it one game at a time, but this next series at home, after the Iowa game, after the Iowa doubleheader on Tuesday. So Northwestern here, and it's a big series because of the matchup, but also because they're going to be retiring Taylor Edwards' jersey. What has she meant to this program? How special of a weekend is that going to be for this program?
Yeah, it'll be so fun. I played with Taylor for 3 years, and just such a special talent, but probably the nicest teammate I ever played with. And I say that wholeheartedly. Like, she was just such a good teammate. She just loves the game too. I mean, anytime somebody asked her, like, what's your advice? You're waiting for her to come out with something, and all she would say is just play ball and have fun. And that's what it's all about for her. And she was our home run leader, and of course Billy has dethroned her, which is really cool. And I'm sure we'll have something to say when Billy's playing in Taylor's back. But so excited for her jersey to now hang up there alongside Peaches James and Coach Sipple and Ali Viola and Julie Geis, and it's just really, really cool, and just couldn't happen to a better athlete, a better person. I mean, just what she did for Nebraska. She put them on the map. She helped our team get back to the World Series, that 2013 team, and of course she would say she couldn't have done any of it without her twin sister Tatum. Tatum was the pitcher to their pitcher-catcher tandem, and it was just really cool to play with those dynamic twins, and really elevated our program and kind of got Nebraska back in the national spotlight.
So that will be on Saturday, but it's a 3-game series, and it's a busy weekend all around for Husker Athletics. But get your tickets right now, huskers.com/tickets, because, I mean, all around, you got a special player that you're going to be honoring in Taylor Edwards, but then also huge weekend for Husker softball. So before I let you go, I did want to kind of get your thoughts on the overall landscape of college softball and how it looks right now. And, you mentioned a little bit the RPI with Nebraska. They've got some work to do, but certainly have some opportunities here. But no Big Ten team in the top 25. You got some teams coming in that will be in the Big Ten soon that are all over the top 25. But, how are you looking at this overall landscape of college softball this season?
Yeah, everyone's been beating up on each other. I mean, it was like 2 weekends ago where it was in the SEC, it was the lower seed, and like 5 different series had beat the other seed, and Oklahoma lost to Texas. So we hadn't seen them lose a Big 12 series in I don't even know how long. So just it's been really fun to watch because really really competitive across the board, and top 25 has been shifting all year. It has not been consistent at all. I mean, new people coming in, people dropping out, and I think that makes it fun to watch, right, when it's not lopsided.
Does that kind of speak to the parity of the sport? I mean, we saw it a lot with the women's college basketball this past season, but is that just the sport's growing and there are more competitive teams across the board?
Yeah, and it's definitely trended that way. I mean, you go back and you look at the 90s, and right, it was Arizona and UCLA, and that was it. And they just dominated, and nobody else was playing in the championship finals ever. And then for several years, it has been all Oklahoma. And I mean, it's funny because it's like you have a season where you lose once, right? They've lost, I think, 4 times this year, and it's like, oh my gosh, 4 losses?
Yeah.
So they're not untouchable this year. So, but just across the board, I mean, the softball is good, and it's fun to watch, and it gets a lot of media coverage. I mean, ESPN does a phenomenal job of picking up broadcasts all year long. I mean, I felt like every week I can turn on a game on ESPN or ESPN2, and I love that when it's not just postseason time that these players are getting the spotlight, that it's giving people a kind of a carrot and dangling, and then so everybody's watching when it's time for postseason.
All right, well, great stuff as always. Appreciate your time, Maddie. Thanks for joining us here today.
You bet, and thanks for having me.
Okay, again, so 3-game series coming up this weekend. Friday, first pitch is at 6 o'clock. Nate Rohr will be on the air all weekend long right here on the Huskers Radio Network, 15 minutes before or so for that pregame show on Friday. So 5:45, he will hit the airwaves. So we got more from Sports Nightly coming up. Woodhouse Auto Family is your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Not much can be counted on these days, especially getting timely rains. However, having a Thiele irrigation system gives you water on demand. This is an insurance policy you pay for once and cash in time and time again. Perfect for all irrigators, Thiele irrigation systems don't require complicated, expensive, and dangerous high-voltage electricity. They're driven continuously forward by hydrostatic drives. Take some uncertainty out of farming with an intuitive hydrostatic-powered T&L system. Visit TLIRR.com to learn more. T&L, like no other.
Get ready again for some Nebraska farm facts. When there's work to be done, Nebraska soybeans are on the job in many of your everyday products. In fact, Nebraska soybeans are hard at work in Goodyear tires, Ford cars and trucks, Skechers shoes, asphalt, fuels, lubricants, name brand paints and stains, and more. Soybeans are an innovative replacement for petroleum, leading to more sustainable products all over the world. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
Husker fans, springtime in Sarpy County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
Sarpy County, where great food, drink, shopping, concerts, and fun await you. Stay, play, and plan your getaway at GoSarpy.com. It's going to final a couple segments here left on Sports Nightly tonight. The text line is blowing up with suggestions. We appreciate it. It's been fun. We've been talking about it during the breaks and stuff, but I've got quite the long list here of classic games that you guys want to hear since Greg has been the play-by-play. So Northwestern Hail Mary, that's been suggested several times. Another game that's been suggested several times, multiple people, 2011 Ohio State, the comeback win, and the first Big Ten game here inside Memorial Stadium. We had Doug in Norfolk suggested the Michigan State win in 2011, that Michigan State was ranked top 10, and Kirk Cousins was the quarterback then. So there is another one. And I've got a couple more that I will get to and read to you on the other side of this break. We appreciate all the texts coming in on our Sports Nightly hotline, which is brought to you by Woodhouse Auto Family, your trusted auto partner with 20 brands and 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunny's at Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. the official foundation company of the Huskers.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and row house townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. Welcome back. Final segment here of Sports Nightly. So we've been talking about some classic games that we'd maybe like to hear on the network coming up over the summer when we do our classic games or our, best of shows. So we're going to compile a list for the interns, for David back there and his buddies to start working on. Northwestern Hail Mary was suggested a lot. 2011 Ohio State comeback win, that was suggested a lot. And then another one that we had multiple requests for, including Andy Harris, is the win over Oregon in 2016, 35-32, the Tommy Armstrong run to give Nebraska the lead. We also had a couple of suggestions for Nebraska versus Miami, 2014, and another one that had multiple requests for is 2007 Colorado. So Greg had finished that season in 2007. He took over in 2008, but he did call the last few games of that 2007 season. So he was on the call for the Alex Henry 57-yard field goal kick. So there's lots of good ones there that we will try to start working on and maybe be able to bring you here on the network over the summer. I did want to read this text here from Kenlin. He said, "This is Kenlin, formerly from Topeka, now in Lakeland, Florida. Greg was so supportive of our Northeast Kansas for Nebraskans alumni chapter, speaking at our events and helping us raise funds for our UNL scholarships. We cannot thank him enough. No doubt the 2007 Colorado game is the one. Beating the Buffaloes like that outweighs any game against Northwestern." So we got multiple games that we will get to work on. There's lots here, and we appreciate all you guys texting in. There were multiple that you guys sent in, so thank you. I knew that you guys would respond, so that gives Cole and the interns a great project to start working on, and we will keep you posted on that. What a fun show. It has just flown by, but appreciate Jeremiah Sirles and Maddie Burkhart stepping in, filling in for us and helping us out here tonight. So coming up tomorrow night, Greg is going to be back in the studio with us, is planning on being back, and we've got lots coming up tomorrow. We have another practice report. So week from this Saturday is spring game. I have not checked on tickets, but they are still available for the spring game, and I think weather looks all right, so get those tickets right now, huskers.com/tickets. There's some great pricing there. So be inside the stadium coming up a week from Saturday for the annual red and white game. But tomorrow, the practice report is we're set to hear from the linebackers. So we will have all that for you and break that down for you. And I had a chance to chat with Isaiah Nair, so that wide receiver that has been making a lot of plays, transfer from Texas here this spring. And I chatted with him a couple days ago. He is awesome. Really, really great interview. So we'll bring that interview for you as well. We'll also talk some Nebraska men's tennis, as they've got a big weekend coming up this weekend. It's their final weekend of the regular season. They've got #1 Ohio State going to be here on Friday and Penn State on Sunday. And so final chance to see this Husker men's tennis team in action as they make a push for the postseason as well. So lots and lots of exciting things going on, and we will have another jam-packed show coming up for you tomorrow night right here on Sports Nightly. Thanks to David back there, who's been helping us out all night, and Cole as well for helping us get this show on the air tonight. And we will look forward to talking to you tomorrow night right here on Sports Nightly. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Experience the difference and save more when you shop at one of our 3 convenient Woodhouse Ford locations. And right now, it's more affordable than ever to get behind the wheel of a new vehicle when you visit a Woodhouse Ford dealership. With special financing options featuring low APR rates and flexible terms, or lease deals with competitive monthly payments and minimal upfront costs. Owning a Ford from Woodhouse has never been easier.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, I got in a crash. I'm okay. I was wearing my seatbelt.